Alright, in today's video I'm going to be going over the best way to level up in Digimon World 4. And I'm going to be covering the best, in my opinion, the best Digimon to use for this. First of all, let's go over the equipment, right? I'm wearing a Photon Edge Epsilon. It doesn't matter if it has color or not, guys. I don't expect you to have color. It really doesn't matter. This is, I think, plus like 700 strength or something. It can be white. Your strength stat doesn't really matter for this. It's just going to speed things up. Wizard Core, again, the color doesn't matter at all. The color for this thing is completely negligible. Mine happens to be orange, again. Doesn't matter. Though, I mean, if you're using a white Wizard Core, maybe consider using Tails instead. Because Tails of Order gives a little more defense in general, and you don't sacrifice too much wisdom stat, and then you need to have experience board gamma. Obviously, this is for experience. Experience board gamma is going to give you 30% more experience, and if you're not using War Greymon, then the armor core you have on matters a little more, right? If you have power up, doesn't matter. If you have power up, you're going to be fine. Make sure power up is on as much as possible. It'll keep you alive better when you're at those lower levels. Now, if you happen to be level 168 or higher, you want to use Wizard Core Gamma. In my opinion, this is going to give you the highest wisdom stat out of your armor. It's like 300 more than Tails of Order. It's not a whole lot. But the main point here is you need to have a wisdom chip, a speed chip, and a defense ROM Epsilon. It doesn't matter if you have a spirit chip. Spirit doesn't really matter here. As you can see in my weapon here, I've got power metal, which electric is going to be the best for this. You want to make sure you have a wisdom chip. Again, you have to have wisdom chips here, and a Dread Ram Epsilon. I recommend you have 2 max wisdom chips. It's going to make this significantly faster for leveling up. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so first thing to note is another thing about War Greymon. I have Impact, which happens to be right at the top of the list, and I already almost made a grave mistake here. But as you can see, with Impact, I'm doing over 300 damage per hit. And now if I use my regular attack, I'm doing 300 damage per hit. That's because of the electric metal mostly. Without that, I'd be doing about 100 damage per hit, 180 damage per hit, right? And this is where it comes in handy that you're using War Greymon, because you can slap on power up, and now your defense is plenty high enough. You don't have to worry about enemies. 5900 strength is a lot, and now you're going to be doing way more damage to these guys. So, again, War Greymon is like one of the best Digimon in this game for leveling up. Guilmon is the easiest one, of course, because you've got power up and power down. Unfortunately, no impact though. So, in my opinion, though, impact is definitely going to be the way to go here, because hit multiple times, very easy to hit every enemy. You don't have to position yourself very well, and you just want to do this. This is it. This is what you do. And yeah, skill stuff. As your tech goes higher, you're going to do more damage. It's going to become easier. And the next thing is, the reason you have that Dread Ram is you're going to run out of MP. And when you do run out of MP, you can hit stuff to get it back. This way it's completely self-sufficient. And when you level up, you're going to, of course, get your MP back as well. So another good thing about this. Once you get to higher levels, though, that Dread Ram is going to become way more important. Because soon enough, it's going to take you multiple trips doing this to get a single level. But for right now, it's only going to take me almost finishing this will level me up for sure. I only needed 96,000 for level up, so this isn't going to take too long. You also want to make sure you're paying very close attention to how many have spawned. The more you do this, the better the feel for it you'll get. And you will start to realize when you're down to like the last 2 enemies. I tend to wait for the last 2 enemies, okay? Oh, and there is another trick you can do if you mess this up. And I will show that, I will showcase that as well. Well, at least I'll try to. If you mess up and kill all of these guys, there is a way to salvage it, though it is pretty hard. Alright, so time to get power up. Okay. to get my MP back here. It's one downside of War Greymon, you don't get a whole lot of MP, but that's actually okay. You don't really care about how much MP you have, because as you get level ups, you're going to get more MP, and more importantly, it's going to fully restore your MP anyway, so not too important there. Also, even though you have experience poured on, you're pretty squishy without power up, you are going to have a very high speed stat, so you don't really have to worry too much about getting hit, though if you're level 113, maybe consider using Tales of Chaos instead, and I'll go over that next as well when I'm done with this. Tales of Chaos is another good option, or if you want the experience, you want more experience anyway, but you don't want as much of that nerf, another option for you is to use Experience Port Alpha, which has hardly any drawbacks. It gives slightly more speed, but it doesn't take away any of your defenses really, or your offensive. So it's going to make it significantly easier to survive. Also, I'm poisoned here, so I should probably clear this up. Another added benefit of having a high wisdom stat is I can just heal that stuff away pretty quickly. Doesn't cost much. And if you have a 5 mod weapon, you could wear Drain Ram. If you want to get rid of Spirit, because you don't really need the Spirit stat, you could take off the Spirit chip for Drain Ram and make it even more self-sufficient. I didn't want to do that here because I didn't see the point of doing that. Another thing I'm going to also do is not open my menu. That's another part of this. I do not want to open my menu as much as possible. As much as is possible. See, I have a lot of my MP back now, so I'll go ahead and start using Impact again. Now, if you make a mistake and nothing spawns, what you can do is you can go down here and you see how that glow is not on the obelisk. The enemies won't spawn. So what you can do here is, if you accidentally kill all the enemies, you can gate disc out so the obelisk doesn't blow up. You can use that to save you in case you make a huge mistake and accidentally kill all the enemies here. So yeah, I'm going to leave one alive just in case, because we should be getting pretty close to the end here, I feel like. Yeah, typically as long as you're careful, you should kill all but one. And then if you see more spawn, go ahead and kill the one you left over. Pretty easy. Another added benefit of getting your wisdom stat as high as possible is your power up is going to last longer. Okay, got them dead. Okay, one left. Go ahead and kill this guy. Get my gate disc here, because I haven't really bought any yet. One more, and okay. And there's a level up, which means they're going to be done spawning here in a little bit as well. But getting a level up also means you get all your MP back, so go ahead and go back to spamming MP skills. Overall, even though you're hitting harder with your weapon, you're going to be killing more enemies using Impact. So Impact is definitely faster for leveling up purposes. Go ahead and use power up again. There we go. Go back to spamming some impacts here. Okay. Dead. Spawn. We should be getting toward the end of these guys now. I kind of want to keep them at bay. do have to be mindful of being poisoned too. Make sure you have cure discs on hand, or if you have cure tech, that's really helpful as well. You don't have to worry about it too much though if you're using a drain disc, drain ram. Then you probably don't really have to worry about it at all, as long as you're careful. Okay, so now you know, that's it. There's only 2 enemies left, right? When there's only 2 left, or if you can get it down to just 1, I just go back in and come back out. I don't waste any time. But you're looking at, if you can do this really fast, because I'm not going that fast, you could probably do 9 minutes per run. So you're looking at, let's see, 123,000 experience per each time you kill all the enemies with experience poured on. And you're looking at getting, you can probably get in 6 runs an hour. So at this point you're looking at 750,000 experience an hour. If you're going decently fast, you can go even faster than that, obviously, if you have better stats. Best I've ever managed is like 1.1 million experience per hour doing it this way. And early on, that's going to take you up, that's a lot of experience. But once you get up into like level 250, 300, it's not much at all. You're looking at like 3 times just to get the 1 level. But I'll do this for a little while just to give examples. Get a decently paced video going here. And then I, of course, like to start off by breaking all these stupid boxes with impact and hitting the enemies as much as possible. I like to break all the objects so I can get as much of that lag out of the way as is possible. Alright, now we're starting off here. Enemies are spawning, and they all came back. And now I'm just going to use all my MP. And then right when I get down to basically no MP left, I'm going to use the last of my MP to cast Power Up and start attacking these guys. And again, the more you do this, the faster at this you will get. So, and I need gate discs, so I'm going to be picking those up. Okay, well, I made a mistake there, but 1 hit and 2 hits. There we go, and I have enough to power up. So, go ahead and power up. Now we can go ahead and kill these guys. Obviously, I have all my gate discs back, so... The one thing about your spirit stat, as far as this goes, is you're going to have, well, you have Wizard Core on, which gives you the highest spirit of any core in the game. But your spirit stat only really matters for those pools of poison they're throwing at you. So, beyond that, you're totally fine to just ignore the spirit stat. And honestly, these guys are not going to, aside from poisoning you, it's going to be fine. Another good tech to use when leveling up is Venom. Venom is really good for leveling as well. I don't know the experience per hour on that. I've never really tried to gauge it for Venom. I only know it really well for Impact. And I think Impact is generally better. But maybe at higher spirit or higher wisdom stats, Venom might be better. But I have no idea. I also don't know if Venom, the damage of inflicting Venom on enemies, I don't know if that is influenced at all by Wisdom stat. I don't think it is. But if it is, that would make Venom much better overall. Much safer too, actually. Because you could potentially, if that's the case, you could use Venom to level up at level 1. Like, very safely. Go down, Venom some enemies, and get back up on a ledge, wait for them to go down to 1 HP, and then just, I don't know, you can just shoot them with shot pistol, whatever you want to do. All I'm doing here is trying to get back up to almost full MP here, and then I can go back to casting impact here. Using my max level Susanomon, I also realized that it takes about 80,000 MP with decent placement to go through all of these guys. With a high wisdom stat. That's like 7,000 wisdom. Oh boy. And of course, getting envenomed is pretty slow as well. Yeah, I can just heal up real quick. Yeah, definitely want to make sure you have some cure discs on hand, just in case, though. You should never let your HP drop that low. So it's never really an issue, but I don't know. If you're a lower level, it could be an issue. Because I feel like level 172 is already pretty high, so... Alright. Let's go back to using impact. Now I got some MP back. And at this level, I'm guaranteed to get a level up here. Like, every time I come in here. So I know, because I haven't gotten a level yet, that these guys are definitely not going to stop spawning. It's another way. At lower levels, you can kind of gauge it that way. But once you're at a higher level, it doesn't work that way anymore. You have to really pay a lot of attention. And then once again, what I'm going to do is just keep wasting MP using impact. And hopefully this time I remember to watch my MP, so that when it gets kind of low here, I remember to cast power up prior to running out of MP. I want to make sure I have just enough left over to use power up, which will be one more cast here. Yeah, got one more impact cast. I'll make sure I hit everything. And now I can power up. All my MP's gone. And I can go ahead and get it back. Kill stuff. Another thing about this too is you're going to get lots of data. Well, not lots, but you're going to get a significant amount of data. Usually. If you do this for like an hour, you might come away with like 2,000 data. It's not bad. It's not as good as Item Road, but it's not bad. There's the level up, which actually should mean these guys are just about done spawning, by the way. I have all my MP back, so I should go back to using impact. Speed things up a bit. Let's see if I can get a sub 10-minute run out of these guys. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at placing yourself in proper position to not just hit all the enemies, but to hit a majority of them. See, I'm trying to be a little bit more careful now. Good thing, too, because that's the last of them spawning here. So let's go ahead and kill this guy. There we go. One left, and we go back in. And that was sub 10 minutes, though just barely. Just under sub 10. My wisdom stat is really low here. If you put data into your wisdom stat and your strength stat for Wargreymon, you're going to be leveling up quite a bit faster, because you're going to be killing things a lot faster. Disregarding the fact that I'm wearing a photon edge here. If you wanted to use your wisdom stat and you want to make sure that if it's your wisdom stat you care about for killing things, you actually want to wear a Doombringer, not photon edge in this case. But photon edge is the best weapon in the game, outside of invisible, the signature weapon, in my opinion. Stab weapons are just completely superior to every other weapon type in this game, so I use them for everything. Always. Okay, well, those are destroyed. Good. Take these guys out. And then again, once I get down to low MP here, gotta make sure that I'm paying close enough attention. Don't want to waste my impacts on only 2 enemies. Try and hit as many as possible here. Last one, and now I gotta use power up. Up to impact before I start killing things. And thanks to that high wisdom stat, my power-up is also going to last a much longer amount of time, which is really nice. Huh, I didn't get poisoned there. I thought for sure I would. Usually when you take like next to no damage from those poisonous pulls, that usually means you're going to get venomated. Get that good old 100 data there. That spin attack was not intentional, though it did make me look like I was good at the game, so I'll take those. Now this time I think I want to be a little more careful, because based on my last run, I actually don't think that I'll be leveling up from clearing this, from clearing all the enemies out here. So I do want to be a little bit more cautious here. And you know, I should actually at some point come through and time this using like Digimon and using power down. And actually really try to figure out which way is faster. Power down might actually be faster overall than what I'm doing here. Anyway, I have enough MP back, so time to impact. And I did use that impact there on only 2 of those on purpose, because I want to stagger the damage I do so that they're never all dead at once. That is the entire point of that. I always want to make sure that they kind of die in sequence like that, right? So now there's 2 left over, I wait for them to spawn, and I go right back into using impact. And if you kind of just stagger step a little bit, obviously, you will avoid those poisonous pools, which is what I mostly am doing here, while also trying to get decent positioning for using impact. Try and hit the max enemies possible. There we go, and I messed up again, did not use power up. That's okay, because we can power up here. There we go. Oh, another thing you don't want to do is you do not want to have assault ram lock. You don't want to be critting these enemies, right? Because when you get crits, it's kind of slow, enemies fall over, and they don't die, and then they have to get back up. So you don't want to be doing that. So make sure you're not wearing the assault ram. Next time I'm going to make sure I use a different Digimon that has venom. I will probably use Imperial Digimon, which is my favorite Digimon. Imperial Digimon Paladin mode. And I still don't understand why it gets venom, but whatever. Oh, whoops. I did not mean to use power up. I meant to use it. There we go. Left. More staggering damage. Again, I'm still worried that I'm not going to get a level up here, so I want to be very cautious. Oh, I did get a level up. Alright, that's cool. Go back to using impact here. Oh, that's the last of them too, so I want to actually make sure. There we go. That's good enough for me. I'll go head back inside. That was definitely under 10 minutes. It's more like 9 minutes. Maybe even under 9 minutes. I'll have to go back and watch that. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys, and I'll check how much experience I need to the next level. But yeah, 3 levels, less than 30 minutes. I'm level 171 when I started. So that's it. That's all there is to it. That's the best way to level up. And yeah, now I need more experience than I'll be able to get from doing this. 130,000 experience. So that's a little more than 1 clear of these guys. But that's gonna do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day.